So now you're just gonna have to buy your time, unfortunately.
Yep.
You can always take a mental health day,
That's true. Yeah, I could certainly do that.
you know.
The way the weather's going to be the next few days, you might want to do that. Enjoy the warmth.
It's true. Kind of enjoy it for now. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. It's gonna be 60s here. Wow, what a big difference.
Mm-hmm. Sarah, I see you as a attendee in the list, so I'm going to promote you to panelist.
Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.
Sorry about that. My computer's being rude.
That's all right. And Sierra, since Chris is unable to join us today, do you mind kind of sort of chairing and getting us through the agenda? And I can help you with that, but just kind of
Yeah.
doing the official. I can prompt you for all of that.
Okay, let me grab the.
I'm sure, Mike, I'm sure that the list of people that were sent out in the PDF, the names were excluded on purpose, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I was missing something.
Nope, we did that. That way, folks can vote on people based on
Yeah, for sure.
the demographics and their statement of interest and all of that, rather than anybody that would know someone or.
No, correct. Yeah, I thought voiceover was like bouncing over it is what I thought, and I'm like, I was going back and forth, and I'm like, oh, okay. So
Sure.
I'm sure there's an intent.
Yep.
I am trying to grab it. I am not.
Are you looking for the agenda, Sierra?
Yeah.
I
don't know
can,
why I
I
can't
can
find
send it
it.
to you really quick.
Okay, thank you. It's a different email. There it is.
I just have a question about I went through the list of committee people today that we're going to vote on,
Yep.
and are those like all of our standing committees?
Those are all of the work groups, yes, that are underneath
For the
the
work
SPIL
groups?
committee. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
are some of those new?
Yes, actually, some of the work groups themselves, yes. A couple of the work groups are new, and we can talk about that when we get into that part of the agenda. But yeah, so, some are new, and they're all mentioned in the SPIL, and so they're all part of the SPIL process.
Is that something the committee does? This committee does every annually, is name new people?
If it's in the SPIL, and the SPIL this year calls for work groups that work under the SPIL committee. So they're doing it this year, but potentially, we're in the process of writing the next SPIL. And so the next SPIL, we will see the next SPIL may or may not have work groups underneath it. It'll kind of depend on, what that says.
And do the work groups have committee members on them?
They do. So the work groups that are a continuation, like the alternatives to guardianship work group, would have its previous members if they want to continue to serve, plus the new members. The meetings that are new would potentially have SPIL committee members on it if they want to serve on that. So this is for the outside folks.
Okay, I'd like to continue to serve on that.
That would be
And
great.
then, and did I read the list right? Is there one new member proposed for the guardianship committee
Yes, I think that's right.
or
We had
group?
one applicant for that. Yep.
Okay,
Recording in progress.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Mike,
Yes,
I
Ann?
would also like to continue on that
Perfect.
subcommittee.
Great.
Well,
Okay.
since everybody's submitting their permission slip or their slip, can I submit mine?
You can.
No, it depends if it gets approved or not. Do I get the stamp of approval?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, I have everything open and ready, and you might need to help me with procedure
Yeah.
if I say the
Yeah.
wrong things.
No, yeah,
Um,
you're fine, Sierra. I would probably say let's wait a couple more minutes since we still have a couple of
okay,
SPIL committee members who aren't here. Maybe we give folks until
great.
2:05.
Okay.
The ASL interpreters, who is going to go first so I can know who to spot? Okay, great. Thank you. Did I do that right, Mike?
Yep. We'll get started in about 2 minutes, everybody. I've
Actually,
got 2 or 3.
just give it just 1 second. We have I'm not sure the live captioning is working. Thank you, Brianna, for letting us know. She said that the live captioning isn't picking up anything anyone is saying. Might just be her computer, but she hasn't received the captioning. Lisa, is everything working?
I haven't started captioning yet because the meeting hasn't started.
Okay, all right. So that's
Oh,
why I
got
thought
it.
it didn't work. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, thank
Okay.
you, Brianna. Yes, the captioning will start as soon as we start the meeting.
Okay, Sierra, I've got 2:05. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes, let's get rolling. Okay, welcome everybody to the SPIL committee meeting, the public SPIL committee meeting. I am the vice co-chair of this committee, and we can go ahead and start with roll call.
Yep.
Okay, let's start with Luis Roman, sorry,
Present.
Anne Barnhart,
Here.
Haley Brown,
I've not seen Haley yet.
okay, Janine Coleman Miller,
It seems like her note taker is here.
Yeah, I see Janine's note taker, but I'll keep an eye out for Janine.
okay, Abigail Fleener,
I've not seen Abby.
Linda Greeno
Linda Green. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
sorry, she was supposed to be here today, but I haven't seen her either.
Linda Greeno,
We've not seen Linda yet, Sierra, but she said she would be here today, so we will see if she joins.
okay, Jared Quarles,
And I have not seen Jared yet either.
Okay. Julie Shear,
Here.
Sierra Olivia Thomas Williams here, and Anna Thompson Jones.
And Anna's not going to be here today. She told me that.
Okay. And do we have the number of committee members that we need? Is that necessary to?
We will have a couple of votes. We will need one more committee member for a quorum, so we will figure that out. We have a couple of agenda items that don't require a vote, so I would say that we could do those in old business, and then we will see when we get to the vote items if we have another person join.
Okay. So we need one more person. Okay.
For a quorum. Yep.
For a quorum. Okay, it looks like the next part is the statement of accessibility. Do we have someone available to do that?
Yes, that's me.
Okay.
And this is Mike, the Executive Director of NSILC, and our accessibility statement is that ASL interpretation and CART will be present during the committee meeting. If you have an accommodation request, you can email our email at info@indianasilc.org. And if you have accommodation requests, that can be made at any time, but we appreciate you making a request at least 2 business days in advance. That helps us to ensure availability of the accommodation. If you're having issues with today's accommodation, you can put those into the chat, or you can text me at 317-514-6145. And Sierra, just so you know, I just got a text from Linda Greeno that she is trying to get on now. So hopefully we'll have Linda
Wonderful.
when we're ready to
Okay.
join, when we're ready to vote. Sorry.
Okay. And I just want to address one of the questions in the chat. It's an accessibility issue. A person is unable to see the panelists. And so what I would suggest to that person is if you look in the top of your Zoom, you should be able to change the view of what you're seeing from just the interpreter to a gallery, or to highlight the interpreter and have the panelists on the top of your screen. If you could let us know if that works for you or not, and if it doesn't, maybe we can help troubleshoot that. And it looks like the next on the agenda is old business, and we are starting with the ADA jail project.
Yes, and this is Mike, and I can give that update. And so if folks will remember, one of the projects that we got, Chris Spinks, our SPIL committee chair, was working with one of our contacts from ADA Indiana on a project to get information out to all of the jails and to find out who their ADA coordinators are and to make sure they have the most up-to-date information on serving folks in their facilities. And we and one of our staff have been working on reaching out to all of the counties across Indiana, especially the unserved areas by our network. We've been working with Chris to do that. We've been able to find contact information for most of the counties, but there's still some that we're trying to solidify that contact information on. And we're kind of working through this month to kind of figure out where we are on that. And so our hope is by the end of February to figure out what the next steps are. There's been a couple of counties, like I said, where we're having trouble finding a coordinator. And I think it's time to determine whether or not the county can give us that information, or if we need to just say, you know, there's a couple counties that we're not going to be able to reach. And so that's kind of where we are now. So we are going to continue to work with Chris and our staff. we'll circle back here in the next week or two and kind of make a decision on whether or not we want to kind of close the book on this and to get that info to ADA Indiana, or if we want to keep pushing on the counties that we haven't been able to find that contact info. So we will keep working on this project. We think it's good to be able to get that information to ADA Indiana. We think it's a good project, and we will keep on working through, and we'll have an update for this committee the next time we meet.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Just a quick procedural question. Are we
Sure.
taking questions about this old business during this part of the discussion, or do we need to put that off until the public comment part?
We will do that during the public comment at the end of the meeting. So that would be a great place to have that.
Okay. Okay. I see questions coming in, so I wanted to make
Sure.
sure to note that. Okay. Okay. It looks like the next old business is the SPIL dashboard discussion. I believe that's probably you or Katie.
Yeah, and actually I'm going to turn that over and let Katie kind of talk about that. She's been working on that on our end.
Yes, so for a while now, we've been working on a dashboard, which will be a high-level view of the progress of the spill. We don't have one that's yet to publish today because it's still going through the very final revision, but we do want to show you what it looks like, just to show that it is happening, and it will be published next month along with the year one report. So let me share this really quick. Oh, excuse me, just one moment. Okay, so what I'm sharing is a document that is titled 2527 State Plan for Independent Living Spill Dashboard Report. So this is a 10-page report that is mostly text. I will not be reading it for everyone today, but I'm just going to quickly review the different sections and how the dashboard is set up. So this first page tells you what the dashboard is and how to read it. There's
Katie,
a scale.
could I ask you to increase the size?
Of course.
For those of us with less eyesight, it's a little blurry. That is better for me.
Okay, great.
Hopefully others too.
The first page explains the rating system that explains the status of each indicator. So the rating system goes from exceeded, met, substantially met, partially met, not met, and no progress. So of all of the different indicators in this spill, each one will be described by one of those by one of those statuses. This next page right here has a chart. There is an alternate text version of the chart so that anybody can read what is on the chart. It's colorful and it has lots of different counts of which indicators are exceeded, met, substantially met, partially met, not met, and no progress throughout the different objectives of the plan. There's another chart that lets us know which indicators, what percentage, what count of the indicators have been exceeded or met, or substantially met or partially met, or not met or no progress. So it's just a different chart to look at it a little bit differently. But the next part here is really where I want to what I want to explain, and is the most important, substantial part for everyone to know. Is in this dashboard, all three goals are listed, and the objective for each goal is listed underneath that. And then what happens is we will let you know how many of the indicators were met or exceeded, and if the indicator was partially met or below, so that means if it was partially met, not met, or no progress, we will provide a remediation plan. So for example, within goal 1, objective 1, we had one indicator that was partially met. So we wrote what the indicator was, and underneath that, we wrote what the remediation plan is. The remediation plan explains what we've done so far and what we're doing to get back on track. So this dashboard does not provide detailed information on every single indicator. That is reserved for the year one report that will be revealed at the March 11th meeting. We'll post that a little bit beforehand so everyone will get to see it. But the March 11th meeting is where we will vote to finalize the year one report. This is just a high level version of that, although it does have some of the same language. So as you'll see, all of this is just every page after this is all text, but it follows the same pattern of letting us know what the remediation plans are for first the indicators that are partially met, and then the indicators that are not met or have no progress. So I'm going to stop sharing because right now we're just looking at a document with lots of words on it, but hopefully that gives everyone an idea of how the document is structured and what information they'll be able to glean from it when it is published next month.
And Katie, this is Mike. And then the plan would be to have an updated dashboard every quarter, correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
And so this would be then the new document, the newest
That's correct.
version would be posted.
This first, I should also add, thank you for adding that, Mike. This first dashboard that we're proposed or that we're going to be publishing actually follows data from the whole first year. The next dashboard we publish after that will just be for one quarter, and then we'll go from quarterly after there. And you had a question?
Published on the website?
Yes, we will we will first get them approved by the council at the March meeting, and then we'll publish them on the website. Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Excellent. This is Sierra. Any other committee discussion around that? Those two items? Okay. We can move on to new business. We need to approve the November 17th minutes.
Yes, and Sierra, this is Mike. Linda was able to join, so we now have a quorum.
Excellent. Okay. Has everybody had a chance to look at those? And any changes that you would suggest? If no, do we have hopefully this is the right term. Can someone move to approve it?
Yes, we would need a motion to approve, and then we would need a second. And then we'll have to do a roll call for approval.
This is Luis. I motion that we approve the November 17th, 2025 minutes.
This is Ann. I second.
Okay, let's do a roll call to approve that. Luis Roman.
Agree.
Ann Barnhart.
Agree.
Linda Greeno.
This is Linda speaking through the interpreter. I just got here late and I'm not comfortable voting right now.
That's okay. We can count that as an abstain.
Julie Shear.
Okay.
Yes.
Excuse me. Sierra Olivia Thomas Williams. Yes. And Anna Thompson Jones.
Anna's not here today, Sierra.
Oh, why do I have that? Okay.
That's okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. And so does that pass?
Yes, because we've got the majority of
Passes.
our quorum. Yep.
Okay. Learning on the fly here. Okay. And now we are going to go over the new work group members and do a work group member approval.
Yes, and I can talk a little bit about that. So I sent everybody a copy of the potential new work group rosters. And so just as a way of reminding folks, the work groups that we have right now, we will have the Alternatives to Guardianship work group. That is the reformed version of the work group that we have had for last year. We also will have a focus group planning work group, and that is kind of a reformed version of the data analysis work group. If you remember, that work group had decided that instead of doing the consumer needs assessment survey that was mentioned in the spill, because there are so many public data options available, that we would convene a focus group work group that would do focus groups in 2026 and 2027. So that focus group work group will be a continuation of the data group in that direction. And then we also have our emergency preparedness work group, and that is directly out of the spill. And the charge of that work group is to put together a packet of resources available to policymakers in Indiana who work around the emergency preparedness issue, helping to make sure that people with disabilities are included in any emergency preparedness planning. And then we have our healthcare work group, and that work group also comes out of the spill. And that work group is charged with developing a resource packet of materials to go out to a variety of different healthcare providers across Indiana. I think the goal target is 1,000 different providers across a number of Indiana counties. And that work group will be working to put together that packet and to get that distributed by June of 2027. And so we had emailed all of the centers for independent living and asked them if they had anyone in their staff or in their communities who they would like to apply to be a part of any of these work groups. And so we received those applications. They went through the scoring rubric, and then I put together the roster based on those folks and slotted them into their work groups and redacted the name from this list. That way people could vote on just their kind of their demographics and their interest statement. And so that's what you have in front of you now is for these would be new work group members for the work group members going into 2026. For the work groups that are continuing from 2025, work group members who are already a part of that work group have the option to continue. So you won't, if you were involved in one of the work groups before, like the Alternatives to Guardianship work group or the data analysis work group, you won't see your name on this list because if you already indicated that you wanted to continue, you've already been approved to be on the work group. So this slate that you have in front of you is for new work group members. Does anyone have any questions about that before we would potentially put the slate up for approval? And then I think we would need, or Sarah, I don't want to step on your toes, but I think we would need somebody to make the motion to approve the slate as presented.
This is Luis. I motion that we accept the list as is, or the nominating list, that would be.
This is Sierra, and I second that motion. I have a question for us. Is this list made available to the participants who are in the audience, or is that not something, we are talking about it, but I don't think the people who are here attending this meeting from the public have it, or am I wrong about that?
No, you are correct, Sierra. And typically, for these meetings, the material that we vote on is generally not posted. We just post the minutes and the agendas.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. And we need to do roll call on this. Is that correct?
Correct. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Let's do that. Luis Ramon. Oh, Julie.
I have a question. Once we approve these committee members, is that posted anywhere?
Oh, the work group members? That's a good question.
Would it be in the minutes, or would it be on the website, or?
It would be in the minutes that we approved the roster as presented. I don't know that we post the work groups and their listed members, and I don't know that we don't actually. That's something I would need to look into that, Julia, and see what the sort of the guidelines are for that. I don't have an
Okay.
answer for you today, but I can find one.
Thank you.
Anne has a question.
Could you explain a little bit again how we came to this list of people?
Yes, absolutely. And so we had sent before the holidays in like late November an email out to the centers with a couple of reminders asking them to share with their communities, both with their staff and with the with their consumers. If anyone is interested, we had a whole description of the work groups. People were able to do submit a form, a Microsoft form, or email me. A couple ways they could do that. And then when those applications came in, we had a scoring rubric that they were evaluated against, and then they were put again, then they were slotted into these roster spots. And so we had said that each work group was going to have anywhere between 5 to 8 members, and we have enough people to fill out the work groups, but everyone who applied was able to get a slot in the work group that they wanted to serve on. So we didn't get enough applicants for work groups where we had to like not include people because there were too many. So everybody who wanted to serve on a work group is potentially going to get to serve on a work group if we accept this roster.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is Sierra. I was wondering if our committees did we just want people who are staff and EDs of SILs, or did we want public members? Was that something that we wanted to invite everybody to?
It was, yes, it was something we wanted to invite everybody to, and with some of the applicants that we have are not employees of SILs. They're just folks that came to us through the centers.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to clarify. Okay. So we need to vote, do a roll call vote. Is that correct?
I have a question. This is Linda.
Oh, I'm sorry,
yes.
Linda.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify. So you mean it's just inside independent living centers? They're coming from there only? Because I was wondering if another deaf person could come in and join as well. So I was hoping that I would have another one with me.
This is Mike. And so Linda, no, anyone, the centers, some of the folks that we have on our roster are center employees, and some are just people that were in their broader community when they shared this out. But nothing in our bylaws or anywhere says that, you know, we have to approve these work group members one time in the beginning of the year and that's it. And so I would think that if we could open it again, and you know, if there are additional people that would like to serve, the SPIL committee could consider their applications at a future meeting. I mean, I don't see why that would be a problem.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is Sierra. Any other discussion about this before we take a roll call vote? Okay, I'm not seeing any, so let's go through the committee members who are here. Luis,
Approve.
Ramon, approve. Anne Barnhart,
Approve.
Linda Greeno,
Yes. Approve.
Julie Shear,
Approve.
and Sierra Olivia Thomas Williams. I approve.
Great.
And that passes. Okay, next line of business is introducing the plain language SPIL proposals. That's probably you, Katie.
Yeah, or this could be me, and Katie, you can come in
Okay.
if I leave anything out. This is Mike. And so one of the goals in the current spill was to do a plain language version of that spill. And to do that, Katie put together a really nice request for proposals that was sent out, asking for professionals who work in the plain language area to give us kind of a two-pronged proposal that both focuses on helping us create a plain language version of the current spill, as well as helping us to write the next spill in a plain language format as we write it. And that way we would have a plain language version and a technical version of the next spill ready right from the beginning. So that way we don't have to go back and retrofit that spill into a plain language format. And so the next step for that is just that we have our spill writing work group, and that work group is going to be interviewing some of the proposals, some of the folks that presented proposals over the course of the next several weeks, and that we would then come back to this committee with I think a recommendation for a vendor to help us to do that with a proposal to get that approved. But we just wanted to make sure that everybody on the committee knew that that was in process and that we're looking at the plain language part of the requirement of the spill. So we are making progress on that.
This is Sierra. I just wanted to add, because I think this was really cool, is that they not only are helping us with the current, potentially helping us with the current one, but also writing the next one so that both of the spills will be available in plain language. Any discussion, questions, comments? Sorry.
Yeah, no vote on this one yet. Just an update.
Right. Okay. All righty. The next part. Oh, I heard someone.
Yeah, I thought since we have a little bit of time, since we're doing well on time today, and we've had some questions pop up in the chat, I thought we could answer some of these questions in the chat and then open up public comment. What do you think about that, Mike?
Yeah, I think that sounds fine.
Okay. So the first question we have is from Jerem Hawker. He asked, once the jails have the information, what is the plan to ensure they are utilizing that information? And if they are not, how do inmates reach out to bring up concerns they have?
Yeah, and this is Mike. I think that's a great question, Jerem. And we were brought into this to help find ADA coordinators from ADA Indiana is who initiated this project. And so I think once we get this contact list to them, that'll be part of that conversation, is figuring out kind of what the next steps are. And I know part of the plan was that then hopefully the jails that we reach out to will post and make it very well known who their ADA coordinator is. That way, someone who is in their facility will know who to reach out to if they have ADA or accessibility concerns. But that'll be kind of the next step in the project. But I agree with you that that's an important step that we'll need to figure out.
Okay, the next two questions are on the same topic, and the questions are around the idea that when we had our special session with ACL, we set those meetings up as meetings so all of the attendees could see each other. And today, this meeting is set up as a webinar, so the attendees are not able to see each other. And the question is, why did we hold one meeting one way and this meeting this way?
Sure, and I can address that. This is Mike again. And that was part of the recommendation from ACL, was to use both different formats. That meeting that we had with ACL was really designed as a community conversation, and the whole purpose of that meeting was to give folks an opportunity to give feedback and to have a discussion. And so the meeting format worked really well as far as facilitating that. But for the SPIL committee meetings such as this, and for our NSILC meetings, the recommendation both from ACL and from our technical assistance providers was to use this webinar format. And that's really due to the fact that these meetings are business meetings where both the SPIL committee and the NSILC council need to accomplish their agenda items. And then taking public feedback is a piece of that. And so that the webinar platform is the best way to let the let the SPIL committee and NSIL complete its business processes, and then to encourage folks too that we have a new feedback page on our website, on the NSIL website, and it's one of the top level pages. And if you go to that, you can see a whole variety of ways to give public input and public feedback. So we do still want your feedback, but we're trying to use both this SPIL committee meeting and the NSIL meetings as a business meeting so that we can accomplish our goals, and then still taking the public feedback, but having a variety of other ways to take that feedback where we can have more time for discussion and community conversation.
Okay, the next question is from Teresa Torres. She's asking, and I believe it was the SPIL dashboard. She was asking, where is the document on our website? Teresa, we have not published it on our website yet. It will be published along with the year one report, and it'll be on the SPIL page of the website.
And that'll be once that's approved by the council at the March meeting.
The next question is from Karen. She asked, why didn't you advertise these subcommittee work groups opportunities to the public so more people could apply?
Yeah, and this is Mike again. And so we thought we would start out by reaching out to the network, which we did, and we were able to get enough members to fill up those work groups. And I think in the future, we should consider that, and it's a good thing to do. We were trying to balance the getting the right amount of folks with the right background with getting flooded by applicants that we didn't have room to have on our work groups. And so, but that is something that we will continue to look at, and I think it's something that we can continue to revise the process on that.
Okay, the next question. How can this truly be a public meeting if the business you're voting on is not available to the public? Also, I do not feel it is appropriate to vote on an issue without getting public comments on the issue prior to the vote.
Yeah, and this is Mike again, and appreciate that comment. And we do comply with Indiana's open door laws, which actually the open door laws do not require us to take public comment, although we think it's a good idea to do so and a best practice to do so. So we will do that. And the open door laws only require that we post the agenda and the minutes. And so we will continue to do that and to comply with Indiana's open door laws.
Karen added to her question about advertising the work groups. She said she would be interested in serving. Karen, we can reach out. If you would like to serve on any of them, we can reach out to you privately if you would like. I'll make a note to do that. Okay, the next question. From the content of the conversation, there seems to be, this is from Jerem, there seems to be a concern of transparency of INSOC on the website. Are there any plans to ensure better transparency to both INSOC, SILs, and the general public?
Yeah, this is Mike again, and we will continue to post everything that's required, and we will post other items as well. I know that one of our committee members had asked about the roster for the work groups. I don't know if we are required to post that, and if we are, sort of the processes, or if we're not. So I will clarify that and have an answer to the SPIL committee by the time that we meet again. So I'll make sure to clarify that, but we will continue to post everything that Indiana's open door laws and ACL requires us to do so.
Brianna asked, when we had our SIL director meeting, it was mentioned that you would look into alternatives to spending money on consultants for this. Did that happen? She's referring to the plain language consultants.
Yep.
Yes, that is something that one of the members on the SPIL writing committee brought up, is talking about looking into relying on some other tools that might be able to help. So one of the questions that we're going to be asking, we're going to be interviewing the consultants. And so we're going to be asking them some questions about what other tools we might use and why it is that they would be worth the money. So although we're going to be interviewing them, it's not a foregone conclusion that we're going to be using them. So it's still something that we're looking into. We want to be sure, though, that we don't want to be over-reliant on a tool that's going to, we don't want to have a subpar product, if that makes sense. We don't want to attempt a plain language spill if it's out of our expertise. We want to make sure that it is proper. And so we just want to make sure that we're really covering our bases in terms of making sure that we have the expertise we need to make it an actual plain language spill.
Mm-hmm. And we will look into those other tools, and that'll be part of our decision process for sure.
Okay. Teresa has more of a comment, but we'll go ahead and read it out. Spills aren't supposed to be just written. They're supposed to be developed, but only after the SILC has actively engaged the state's disability community. This means more than the handful of people that actually participated in your listening sessions and town hall meetings. And then she added up, wait, are you actually saying that ACL told you not to hold our meetings in a format that does not allow you to those who attend to see one another? Teresa, when we open up the public comment, I'm gonna ask you to follow up on this question. I'm not super following it, but I want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. Her next question is, how exactly would letting people see who else is at the meeting would interfere all of this vibrant business that you're addressing? Please be sure to answer that question. Mike?
Yeah, and that's fine. And this is Mike, and I can answer that. And again, we want to make sure that during these business meetings, during the SPIL committee meeting and the NSILC meeting, that the agenda items in the agenda are the bulk of the meeting, and that these meetings are designed to complete that business, and that taking public comment is a part of what we're here to do, but that the agenda items and the vote is the primary reason that we're together. And that's why we've created all the other options to take public input. And that was definitely a suggestion and a very strong suggestion from both ACL and our technical assistance advisors.
Teresa asked to clarify, are you saying that the SPIL committee meeting isn't a meeting, it's a webinar, but the webinar with information for the public meeting was a meeting? Not following that one either, Teresa. Happy to answer it. I'm just not following it. The next one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, yeah, if Teresa would like to clarify during the public comment section.
Right, yeah, absolutely. The next question we have is from Liz Gideon. You were able to get enough people from within your network so you didn't, quote unquote, have to expand your search. I find that very concerning that you weren't actively trying to bring in more people.
Sure, and this is Mike, and there were people, again, there's people that are on the work groups that do not work for the SILs, that are from their community, their consumer community, who filled out an application and are on the work groups. But I think we can look to expand that in the future, and that's a process that we will continue to look to improve.
And then finally, the last question, well, they keep growing. And then before we open public comment, how does just showing names and faces interfere? Responding back to why this is not a meeting and a webinar.
Yeah, and this is Mike. That would probably be a question that would be a good one for ACL the next time that we have an ACL forum. Again, that was a very strong recommendation from them, so we are complying with their recommendation.
Okay, and then Chris, you made a comment that I'm not following. She did not ask about public comment. She asked about seeing all the attendees. I think we've answered that a couple times now.
Yes.
Tammy Hollingsworth asked or commented, I'm curious why members of the work group who were voted on were not shared with those in attendance at this meeting. I understand that the committee members had a list, but why can't we know who are on those work groups? It seems that knowing who they are would help us connect with people that might be able to change that might be able to make change that people with disabilities need or want. It further concerns me that there is really no place and plan to publicize the names of people who are working within the SILC so that it seems like the comment got cut off. But basically, we did not say that there was no plan to publicize the names. We just said we didn't know if we're going to do that or not. Mike, do you want to add anything?
No, I will follow up. I will look and see what the requirements are for posting that, and I will get advice on that, and I will report back to this work group when we meet again.
And then Teresa made a comment wondering if we speak plain English. I think that we do. And then I think that's pretty much it for the Q&A where it stands right now. I think we can open it up for public comment.
Yeah, and we can, and Sarah, if you're okay, we can do public comment, and we do 3 minutes per speaker for folks who want to do that. And if folks that are in the attendee list would like to make a public comment, just raise your hand, and we will get to you when we can.
Okay, so it looks like we're starting public comment at 2:46, which means that we end at 3:01.
Yes, that's correct. And I see Christian Fuller. With Christian, you have your hand raised. I'm going to allow you to speak. Okay, Christian, you should be able to make your comment.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
So I'll make my comment sweet and to the point. Last time I was in a meeting, I was instructed to send you guys an email offering my assistance about how to reach people in Northwest Indiana. I did send 2 emails. Haven't heard a response back, but I do know that you guys reached out to Everybody Counts, which is great because that was going to be one of my suggestions, to reach out to Everybody Counts to reach those consumers in Northwest Indiana. So I don't know if my emails maybe got lost in spam or overlooked, but I have sent 2, technically 3, because I had Louise attached to one and his email bounced back. So the follow-up emails just had you on it, Mike.
And Christian, I got your email over the weekend, and I will respond to that today before I leave.
And Mike,
Okay,
you
thank
reached
you.
out to Christian as well, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I haven't received anything from you,
Okay, well,
and I've checked my spam.
Sure. Okay,
Okay, I will make sure that you hear from me today, Christian.
yeah, I want to make sure we have your correct email address. I will.
I'm assuming Mike has my correct email address. He just acknowledged that he received my email.
Okay,
I got
great.
your email over the weekend, Christian. I did.
Okay, great. So
Thank you.
We're connected.
Okay. Thank you, Christian, for your comment. Does anyone else have a comment? If you do, please raise your hand. Sierra, do we want to give folks another minute or two to see if anyone wants to make a comment?
Sure, absolutely. Just wanted to make sure that people who typed in their questions and answers felt like they were satisfied. And if not, please raise your hand.
Oh, we have a question from Tammy.
Yeah.
Yep. And Tammy, you should be able to make your comment now.
Yes, I just got unmuted. Thank you. I just kind of wanted to follow up with my question. I know I understood that my question was regarding the members of the work groups that were approved. And I just want to encourage the committee that if there's not a policy or not a procedure or policy not to publish those, that they should be published. That's the first thing. But that's the main thing that I had was I just wanted to say that if we can know who our people are who are working on these committees and assisting with various things, then it would be helpful to be able to reach out to them. And unless we know who they are, we can't do that. So I just think it would be great to have that. The other question I had was regarding the survey, the needs survey that was recently sent out. There was a big email. I think it was in, I don't know, it's been a long month, January or maybe December, where that needs survey was at. And I heard in this meeting that some of the work groups are being reorganized. And I just wondered, is the data from that survey going to be used in some capacity, or are they just, is it no longer going to be used at all and they're doing something else? I'm just curious because I found it to be kind of a good survey. So just wondered what was going on with that. Thank you.
Yeah, and I can address that, Tammy. So we will look at what we're required to do for posting the work group members, and so we will respond to that after I have a chance to look into that more. I don't have an answer for that today. I can tell you that on the surveys, so there's a couple of surveys that are out. One is just our general community feedback survey. That's the survey that we typically put on our newsletter. It's also the one that's posted on our feedback page on our website. It's on social media in a few different places. That survey is still up and that is out and will continue to be out. That one's not going away. The SPIL writing work group and this work group, we look at those responses, and that's planned to be up in perpetuity as far as our planning goes. The survey that we changed, the SPIL required in its language a specific consumer needs assessment survey, which is a pretty detailed kind of survey out to people with disabilities. Once the data work group had a chance to look and see what was available, we found that there are plenty of surveys that are out there that cover a lot more, have a lot more reach than within this work group would be able to get. So there are a lot of publicly available data sources that we thought were just better than anything that we could combine. And so what we did as a work group is decide that the best use of our time and our data analysis would be to conduct the focus groups, which are also required under the SPIL, and to use that focus group data in conjunction with the publicly available data to help us to sort of analyze needs in the community and for the SPIL committee to make decisions moving forward. So that's kind of that process. And so that consumer needs assessment survey is the one that got changed to the focus groups. But that public feedback survey that's out, that's on our website, that will continue to be up and out. And you can actually see the results for that on our feedback page as well. If you go to that feedback page, under the survey, there's a button that says see results, and you can see up to the minute results on the data that we're gathering. So that is completely available to the public.
Okay, thank you. And a follow-up to that then, since it's going to be basically that data is going to be put into focus groups, then will people be invited to those focus groups to share their thoughts and all of that? Again, it kind of goes back to knowing who the people are that we're working with to make change. And so, I felt like that survey was pretty good, but I didn't know, I got the feeling it was going away. So I think it's two different ones, but I just wonder, are people going to be able to access those groups to be able to say, hey, I have this need in this area and just wanted to share that with the group?
No, it's a good point. And so we will look again at sort of the requirements for posting those work group members, but there's always that feedback page. And part of that on our site is the survey, but there's also an email link where somebody could submit a comment. There's my email address is on there. There's some other ways that somebody can leave a comment about anything that we're doing. And so I would encourage anybody on this meeting or anybody that outside of this meeting that wants to leave a comment to use those methods on there. And I think there's 5 that are posted on that site.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We have a question by Teresa Perez.
Okay, Teresa, you should be able to leave your comment.
Yeah, it's not a question, it's a comment. I think that a lot of people on this call want to make a comment, but they kind of value their oxygen and don't like to waste it. The questions and comments that are being made are repeats of questions and comments that have been made for months, if not years. And it's sad, truly, that your concern is that you're making sure that you're doing what you are required to do and don't seem to have any interest in doing what you're supposed to do according to not only the IL philosophy, but also the information just provided to you by the consultants that you referenced. To clarify my